Hey guys, you're here with Churchie and Calavera, or just Churchie today actually. And I'm having a good look at power mainly. I've rebuilt a mining ship because the dish, the tortilla, the hammer, whatever you want to call it, is gone. I couldn't dock it properly. That was on the old docking system. But basically, we're on a multiplayer server, guys, so if we don't dock our shit, they basically run a script to clean up ships every now and again, as we found out, and I lost the ship, so shit happens. So I thought, oh, awesome, let's make a freaking mining ship, because I love freaking mining ships, because they're pretty simple, because they only do one thing. Um, so I ended up making this. So this is, I'm thinking of calling it the Ruger, maybe the Colt, because it kind of looks like when you go back a bit, it kind of looks like the barrel of a pistol, right? You just need the handle down there. Looks almost like a bit of a revolver. Anyway, it's pretty sweet. I like it anyway. So I've got some lights going on the front, and these are salvage modules. And basically they go all the way through. That's just kind of decorative stuff. I've got a camera up there. Let's jump down here. I've got like a bridge kind of thing going underneath instead of on top. Yeah, just kind of happened that way. And a salvage computer, cannons, couple of inventories, and a bit more storage. What I'll do is go into build mode and then show you guys around because you go faster. So in here, I've got thrusters there, there, and there's actually two areas up here. These as well with thrusters. Now there's probably 400-500 in total so far, and it's enough. Gets it to about 150 meters a second. Takes a little while, so I'll probably end up filling up a bit more of that with thrusters. And literally the only thing it's got is the computers, the lights, the frame, thrusters, power, and salvage modules. So it's kind of a good example to show how we are now looking at power. So our old ships, we didn't do power poorly, we just didn't do it efficiently. The idea of power is that you want to make the most out of it, especially on your smaller to medium-sized ships, where the amount of blocks that you use and the amount of space that it takes up is actually quite important, and space is precious, so you want to get the most out of it. Now the way that StarMade calculates this kind of stuff is basically formulas. Maths kids, I know, right? It's freaking useful. So the power storage is quite simple actually. You can see a bunch of stats on the left hand side of the screen there, and that shows you just how many blocks I've got, how big the ship is, and then you can see power. Now that first one is capacity, and it'll show you blah over blah. That's my capacity. It should be setting 100% capacity, and then in brackets it's got E per second, and that's how much power I generate per second. Right. Next, I've got thrust, power cons, blocks, turning speed, stuff like that. So smaller ships, tons better turning speed than this whole piece of shit. So anyway, we're interested in the power. So the power capacitors are quite simple formula. So what it does is it gives a set amount of power. I think it's about 1,000 power per block. And then it gives a small bonus for every power capacitor that it's connected to. So the logic behind it is that you really want one bank or one big long connection of power capacitors on your ship, right? So you don't want a couple over here, a couple over there, a big block over here. You want it all connected. You can have some over here, you can have some over there, but you want them all connected, which is what I've done here, right? If I jump in, oh, you can't quite see it, but okay, picture the barrel here, right? What I've got is down those rows, there, and across there, there, down there, and across there. The whole way back, it's about 70 blocks or so, is power capacitors. Now the ones across here, they're all touching. So they're actually all one bank, but it's the ones along here that aren't. So if I left them just as that, and it was just kind of flush at the back, I actually end up with 20 banks. 4 big ones and 16 smaller ones. So what I've done, if I just jump through here a minute, up here. So what I've done is just at the end made a big ass ring that connects all of these suckers. See? And what that does is just connect them all together. Now, okay, you might say, oh, it's no big deal, freaking it's too hard to connect. But you get a bonus, right? A bonus means it's free. It's free power. It's free capacity. You can do more before you run out of power. So why not, right? So the way I built this ship, I kind of had a shape in mind. I built the frame around the outside, and I'm like, oh, okay, I want to put my salvage modules in individual rows because that gives me individual salvage lasers. I'm like, okay, now to build power around it. So the capacitors, I'm like, oh, if I just put around the edge and then connect them all, because I read the wiki, and the wiki told me what the hell to do and how I've been doing it wrong. So in the past I've just been doing individual rows, which is, it's okay, but you just don't get that kind of efficiency bonus. So connected all of these up, and I'm like, okay, how much power does that give? Because the new GUI interface tells you when you're in build mode how much power you get. And I'm like, oh, okay, 4 million. That's alright, I think. We'll see how we go. So I'm starting with that, and we'll see how it goes with compared to how much I actually use with flying around, using the salvage modules, stuff like that. Will I run out fast? I didn't know at first. Turns out I don't, but 5 million is pretty sweet. So I don't need more than that. I don't want huge amounts. This is more than enough. If anything, it's already excessive. And everyone else who knows what they're doing watching this will be like, what the frick is this shithead doing? He's got way too much power. He's just slowing his ship down, but I don't give a shit. It's only a mining ship. Right? Okay. So we come to these blocks. The power reactors. The power reactors is what gives us our E per second. It's not ecstasy, it's energy. Okay? It's energy per second. So when we stop using the salvage modules because they're on cooldown or something, this is what regenerates the power. This is where shit gets tricky. Okay? So you're going to have to bear with me. It's worth it. I'll go through the formula quick, and maybe we'll do a quick example. I did a whole bunch because once you've done it once, you actually think, oh shit, this looks hard, and it's actually not hard at all. And you just need to know kind of what to put in and how to break down the formula to see how much bonus you're getting. Again, it's all of this efficiency and bonus using the space that you've got. Smaller and medium-sized ships, it is far more important to map this out than with bigger ships like mine and awkwardly shaped ships like mine, where I can just do whatever the hell I want. So the formula, I'll pop it on the screen now, is group power. This is for a single group, by the way. So a single group is a single connected or chain of blocks. Alright, Indigo, good things. Group power equals block power, yeah, plus size power. Simple, right? Kinda. So block power equals 25 times the number of blocks that you've got. So on my ship, I literally only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and I've got the same there, 12 big ass rows there. So however many blocks are in a single group along there, let's call it 70. 70 blocks in a row, that's a single group, and this is the formula we use for this single group, right? So 25 times 70. Awesome, that's my block power. Okay, now size power is where you go, oh shit, that's too hard. No. It's not, okay? It's not. So the formula, I'll put it on the screen. It's kind of hard to say and describe. So there's the formula. Right, what we're concerned about is the sum of dimensions. So what they've done, something quite smart, instead of using the number of blocks, they've used the sum of dimensions. Okay? Now, what you use is the sum of dimensions, you divide it by 3 to the power of 1.7, and then you do 1.000696 to the power of negative 0.333 times your result from before plus 1, and then use that figure and take 2 million divided by that figure and then minus 1 million, and that gives you your E per second. Okay, sounds complicated, but really it's actually not. So what we're going to do is take one of these groups as an example. Okay, bear with me here, guys, it's not tough. You can watch, I'll do all the hard work. Okay, so we take one of these groups and we want the sum of dimensions. Now this, if you've got like weird ass blocks like that where it's a big long chain going on every which direction, right, the sum of dimensions, it does not equal the number of blocks that you have. Okay, so think of it this way. I have 1 by 1 by 70. The sum of dimensions is 1 plus 1 plus 70. Awesome? Okay. Now if I put a block here and a block here, ignore these groups, right? My sum of dimensions would turn to 2 by 2 by 70. So that's 2 plus 2 plus 70. Cool. Now if I put a block here and here, right there in between, and there, my sum of dimensions is still 2 plus 2 plus 70. Okay, so adding that extra block there actually has no effect. So to have an effect, I need to have one block here and here and here and here, and then all of a sudden it turns to 2 by 3 by 70. Okay, cool. So again, same principle, you go 5 by 5 by 70. Anyway, so for formula's sake, just for this one example, you guys can put in your own numbers and work out your own figures later. So we do 1 plus 1 plus 70, so that's 72. Okay, we then divide by 3. Not hard. Okay, I'm not going to read out the numbers, I don't have it in front of me. I'll put it on the screen. There it is. Somewhere there. Screen. Okay, so you divide by 3. The formula, okay, you can see that it's in brackets, so you kind of do that part of it first. You then put it to the power of 1.7. If you guys don't know what the hell that is, go to the calculator on your computer, go to scientific calculator, and it's the x with to the power of y. Okay, and that means you put in your figure, whatever it was, divided by 3, and you press that one, and it'll allow you to type in whatever you want to the power of. So we want to the power of 1.7. Okay, we can then go copy that into your clipboard maybe, or write it down, and then go negative 0.333 times your number. Okay, there it is. Right, now what we want to do is go 1.000696 to the power of that number that you came up with. Okay, we're using the same button on the scientific calculator. Now we just add 1 plus 1. Cool. It seems like a really small number, okay, but it makes a big difference. By the way, don't cut off the decimal points. You want this to as many decimal places as the calculator allows. Okay, what we then do is copy that into clipboard again and go 2 million divided by your number minus a million. Okay, this gives us your total, not E per second, but size power. Now your E per second is your size power plus block power. Okay, so the simple number you worked out before, your block power, add that to your size power. And there you have your group power. Now that's, if you've got a single group on your ship, that formula is all you need to work it out, okay? If you can't be asked with formulas, just frickin' start attaching blocks here and there and have a look at the power of your ship as you go. In build mode, you can see it there on the left. You can see what kind of effect it's having, whether you're getting a good bonus, a little bit more if you put it here, you put it there. But basically, the idea of the group for the power reactors is to expand the dimensions. There is no use, let me show you, if this was a power reactor, there's no use me going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? That's 2 by 2 by 2. This, if I go, shit, that, so I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks less, has the same effect. It is still 2 by 2 by 2. Okay, so that's the idea, is you use less blocks, using less resources, making your ship, I guess, more efficient with thrusters, things like that. Now, just for a practical example to show you guys why you would do it this way, is because not only do you get the extra little bonus and stuff from doing it, but you might be able to work it into little cavities and areas more easily. And you can also build it around other stuff like your computers and whatever. But also, let's do it 3 by 3 by 3. Now what you might notice is there's a bit of a gap there. And what you can actually do is create an extra freaking group, right? Now you have 2 groups which are 3 by 3 by 3 in the same space as a cube of 3 by 3 by 3. You actually get 2 groups. Blows your mind, right? I know. Okay. If you go 4 by 4 by 4, you can have more groups, obviously. I think in this, if you go to the StarMade wiki, they've got like optimal designs. They'll show you all this kind of stuff, and you can have a look. If you've got a really small ship, just having power capacitors like that might be all you need, and it gives you actually far more power than just having you know, 8 or 6 blocks all together like that. It gives you tons more. Now the reason there is a different formula for the groups is because the more groups you have, the more diminishing the bonuses that you get. So you kind of want to have as less groups as you can, but it's a necessity to have more groups if you need more power. But I also recommend, I talked this over with Calavera, and we recommend you would have at least probably 2 to 4 groups on a ship, even a small ship if you can. Because what happens is if you get attacked by pirates, and let's say they take out some of your freaking, let's go for just these little ones here, maybe. No, let's go for a bigger one, right? What happens if you have one group and they take out this block? All of a sudden these become disconnected, and all of a sudden your power consumption might halve. I don't know, you'll be able to see it in your ship. But if it halves, holy shit, can you run away? Do you have enough power to run away? Are your thrusters going to run out? You know, so if you have 2 groups, Oh shit. That was bad. Let's go grey hull again. Thank you. So all of a sudden, if you've got two groups, one gets hit, you just need to make sure you've got enough for like thrusters and maybe some base weapons or shields or something. Whatever you want. Don't forget, this is generating, this is not capacity. So you want to be able to generate enough, probably just to get away. So that's why I say 2 to 4 groups, right? So one group gets taken out or severely damaged. The other ones are more than enough to keep everything running, right? Now to work out the total power on your ship, shit gets real, alright? This I'm not going to explain because it's, yeah, like I said, basically the more groups you have, the diminishing the returns, but then more groups are necessary. If you want to read the fine print, you love maths, you love formulas, go to the wiki, right? Go read the wiki just like we have. And yeah, so some cool stuff, cool statistics, right, is we learned that the most E per second I think you can have is 1,000,000. So I'm getting to 285,000, right? But the most you can have is 1,000,000. Now if you had a freaking, I think there's a formula or something on the wiki for if you have a single group of power reactors, I think you need 1,000 in it, right? This gives you an idea of the diminishing returns. If you have 1,000 in one group, and we're talking, you know, full dimensions, so we're going frickin' 1 by 1 by 1,000, or frickin' 300 that way, 250 that way, whatever, right? So we're talking huge. This will give you your max power, max E per second. But if you go to 2 groups, you have to have 2 groups of 700 to reach the same. That's 1,400 blocks. That's 400 more, right, to reach your peak power. You go to 4 groups, I think you need 4 groups of 400, which is 1,600 blocks. So you can see that it becomes less and less efficient. More blocks, more mass, harder to move your ship, more to power. Well, this is freaking power, so what am I talking about? But you need more thrusters, so you need more power for that. And, you know, adverse effects. So it's all about efficiency. So yeah, on this ship, basically the way we've been doing it and the way I've done it here is sufficient for us. I don't need to do anything weird about, you know, having blocks going out here and there and whatever. My sum of dimensions for these is pretty good. So these are 70 by 1 by 1, and I've got 12 of them. So more than enough, guys. More than enough. Anyway, do you guys want to see this ship? Want to see it in action? Let's freaking undock this puppy. We're on the new rail system, by the way. So this is after the bloody update came out, which is awesome. Switch to my camera. And this is my ship. Ooh, looks like a giant turd. It's like a freaking kid, like, crawling along the floor or something, dragging his legs behind him. Anyway, so this is my ship. There's all our little salvage. Right, so that's focus beam. That's my spread beam. Pretty cool. This thing, I think I took down a planet about 10 minutes, which is good enough. It was not bad at all. Not bad. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I need a dock again. So Calavera and I will be going over, I think, probably shields and docking will be our next things. I really want to put some shields on this ship. And maybe some turrets as well. So that's where the docking comes into it, especially the new rail system. I want a dock, please. Oh shit, that's why. So it's a bit dicky with this new rail system because you go See that? It's like this weird beam just following your cursor around. It's different to the docking system of old. A hell of a lot better. Shit. If you just want to dock a ship, a bigger ship like mine, and just dock it and for it to be immobile, you just need one freaking block. Look! I'll make that better in the future, but you need one block. So good. And this is one of like the little turrets that I made. That's actually on like a turret rail pivoting system or something. So anyway, that can turn around 360, fire off some missiles. You guys saw what that shit can do in previous episodes, so I'm kind of just pulling that ship apart, and yeah, I'll put that together and we'll show you guys what we do. Rails are pretty cool because you can move stuff around, you can automate things. You kind of want to start playing with logic blocks and stuff too. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for putting up with my voice and all of the boringness and maths and stuff. But it's pretty important. If you get this right from the start, you know, your ships are going to be better, right? You know, when it comes down to it, your ships are better. They're more efficient. It's easier, maybe not easier to design because you actually got to put some better thought into it. My pieces of shit just turned out okay. But you know, you want to put a bit of thought into it. You know, you really got to have that structure. But when it comes down to it, you're generating more power. You're more efficient with storing your power. And it's all worth it in the end, because when you start with the small ships and you got it right, then when you go to your big ships, you're going to have it bloody awesome then. So until next time, guys, catch you later.